And now we will go ahead and send you over to our next segment, Climbing the Ranks.
Welcome to Climbing the Ranks. In this segment, me and Logan will be tier listing things within Star Wars. Our tier list has 5 categories, starting with the highest being Commander, then Captain, Lieutenant, Sergeant, and lastly, Cadet. This time around, we will be tier listing Clone Wars arcs. Now we have 10 Clone Wars arcs picked at random, and we will be tier listing them right now. So, Logan, how you feeling right now? You excited for this?
I am. I'm a huge fan of the Clone Wars. I will say I'm not quite sure if any of them are going to land in Cadet, because even the ones that are very disliked, I still like them. I don't know. It's just something with me. So
I feel the same way. So let's get right into it. Our first Clone Wars arc is D Squad. Now, I'm not gonna lie, for me, I was kind of like, can I skip this arc? Because it really I wasn't really super engaged with it. I don't think it belongs in the Cadet tier. I would consider throwing it within Sergeant, just because it didn't really have me super engaged, but I'll let you give your thoughts about it.
it's underrated.
Yeah, I don't think it's as
I
bad as
think
people
that's
say it is, but
yeah. I
yeah.
think that's the main thing that I've got to say about it. It's underrated. I love the fact that it's just droids that don't talk. It's a bunch of astromechs, and then you've got the one pit droid that's just
Oh yeah.
annoying the whole time. I don't know. I think it just has a different sort of charm to it.
Hmm.
I think the thing that like makes people really hate it is what it comes before.
Hmm.
It is right before the uh Maul taking over Mandalore
Yep.
arc, and then Ahsoka leaving.
So it's kind of in a
It's
bad spot.
yes. Uh, but I think it's underrated overall. I'm okay with Sergeant. I would love to be able to put it in Lieutenant, but I'm okay with Sergeant. I'll accept that.
Okay, okay. Well, let's just go ahead. We'll throw D Squad right into the Sergeant tier. And let's get into the next Clone Wars arc. In my opinion, I actually kind of like this one. The Boba Fett arc from season 2. I uh I kind of like this one, I'm not gonna lie. Him trying to get back at Mace for what he did.
Hmm.
And I believe, I believe he was teaming up with Orsing.
Yeah, bunch of bounty hunters.
Yeah, just a bunch of them
Yeah,
essentially.
Bosk.
Um, but yeah, I really thought this one was underrated. I thought it was really cool, kind of seeing Boba Fett go undercover. They didn't know who he was, so I would consider throwing this in like the lieutenant tier. But
Yeah,
I'll
I like seeing it because it's kind of the first things that you see of Boba being like showing that he kind of has some of his father in him. You
yeah,
know,
for
he's
sure.
he's holding that grudge, and he's pretty ruthless, and he's literally a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, so that is something that I just find interesting about it. I love that he uses Django's helmet to like lure in Anakin and Mace. It's pretty cool. So, but I think you're on the money with these right now. I think Lieutenant, it really is a perfect spot for it, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's a good little fun arc to have, but obviously we have some ones that I think are better than it. But
Hmm.
go ahead, we'll throw a Boba Fett arc from season 2 right into the lieutenant tier. And now we're getting to the third arc, arguably probably the best one, the Umbara arc. I Special place in my heart. I've said this before. I love the Jedi and clones relationships. I really like seeing them connecting and bonding, and it was one of the darker arcs.
Hmm.
I mean, I gotta throw in Commander. I just don't see any other place for it. What about you,
Yeah,
Logan?
but yeah, we'll throw it in Commander, and then we'll talk about it here for a second. I mean, it's most people's number one for a reason.
Yeah,
It's just that gritty of an episode. It's just of an episode arc, I should say. Sorry. Uh, but seeing this is one of those times where you actually get to see the clones pretty grounded. You see it in waves prior to it, but not as much as a full arc like this. And seeing like how the because you get spoiled by how Anakin treats the clones.
yeah, for sure.
So then seeing Plo Koon, Jesus Lord, no, Plo Koon treats them very well. Colin
Yes.
Krell, sorry,
Hmm.
uh, seeing that is just brutal. And it also, I think another thing that makes it brutal is the, the Umbarans that they're fighting. They're not droids, and you, for the most part, throughout the entire series, you're seeing them fight droids.
Yeah.
So seeing them fight living beings as well is also kind of brutal. So
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot more to dive into it with, but to keep it short and simple because there it's not going anywhere else other than Commander.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm absolutely cool with throwing in Commander, obviously. So moving to the fourth arc here, we got the Bad Batch from season 7. I really like this arc. I'm not gonna lie. It introduced new characters that I thought were really intriguing. I mean, yeah, we've seen all these clones have their different personalities, but I think the Bad Batch really took it to the next level.
Yeah.
They have their special traits and everything, and they were kind of like outcasts, I guess, from the other clones because they weren't exactly like the other clones. Um, and seeing Echo alive, and then he eventually joins the Bad Batch too, because that's where he feels like he fits in. Like, overall, just a great arc. Um, I'm kind of leaning towards the captain tier. I'm not gonna lie. I think this was a really good arc. Let's see what you got to say, Logan.
Yeah, I think I'm probably leaning there too, just because it's obviously you're starting off season 7. You got to start off hot. I think they did,
Hmm.
introducing the Bad Batch. Very, like you said, you really do get to see different personalities because of their traits. They have very prominent personalities
Yeah, for sure.
from the other clones for sure. So that's super cool. Being able to see what is it? What's the Seleucami is the planet, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
And
sure, but I know
you
what
get to
you're
see
saying.
those little those like unique droids that Wat Tambor has that are like it's not quite a B1. It's got
Yeah,
like some weird stuff on it, but I think it was shown somewhere else, or it was pulled from some other place, but I think it was super cool to actually see them in action.
for sure.
Uh, but then you get to see how Anakin and how Rex feels about the Bad Batch and how their differing views go throughout the search for Echo.
Hmm.
I mean, not much else to say. I'm okay with Captain. I think
Yeah,
I like the pick.
yeah. You kind of see their unorthodox ways of fighting too. Like they don't fight like the
Hmm.
regular clones do. And I'm just gonna say it, man. Crosshair might be the coolest man alive. So,
I can't disagree with you.
so we'll go ahead and throw the Bad Batch into the captain tier. Moving on to our fifth arc, the Onderon arc, the one with Saw Gerrera. I um, I'm kind of I think it's a good arc. Seeing a young Saw was cool. I thought really cool. Um, I don't know if I would think of it on the same level as Bad Batch.
I think it's close, to be honest.
It's close, and I would, you know what? I don't know if I would mind throwing it in captain tier.
Mm-hmm.
I would be cool with captain or lieutenant tier, honestly. Kind of hear what you guys say.
I think it would fit Captain more if, because I believe it's 4 episodes. If it was 3, I think it would fit there. Just, I think the beginning of it drags on a little hard.
It does for sure.
But the ending of it is so good.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would love to put it in captain, but I think I kind of agree with throwing it in lieutenant because it's not quite there on that Bad Batch level. I think it's better than the Boba Fett arc though, for sure.
Yeah, I would say it's better than the Boba Fett arc. So I'm cool with throwing that in the lieutenant tier. Now, moving on to our 6th arc, Sokka's Journey from season 7. Obviously this one was not very well received.
Yeah, this is the more controversial one for sure.
Yeah, I will admit it is a little slow. At points it gets really slow, honestly, for me, especially with the whole coming off of the Bad Batch arc. It kind of slows down and then it picks up again after that, but that's a whole nother conversation. I don't hate the Martez. I believe that's their last name, right? Martez sisters.
Yeah.
I don't hate them as much as other people do. Because at the end of the day, they're looking out for themselves. You know, like it's pretty big galaxy, so you kind of got to look out for yourself. But I don't want to, because I don't think I want to throw it in cadet tier.
No, I will just tell you straight up, I won't accept it.
I would be. I don't know if it's in lieutenant tier though either.
No,
I might be cool. I don't. I would say maybe sergeant, but I'll let you give your thoughts. Maybe you can kind of persuade me to put it up a little higher.
I have some pretty strong opinions about this one because of how much people hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I just straight up don't think it's bad.
Yeah, no,
all.
it's not it's not bad, no.
And I love the message in it. I love the idea that the Martez sisters are representing, you know, the normal person within the galaxy, the normal person on Coruscant.
Yeah.
Where the Jedi do not mean anything to them.
Exactly.
And this is where you see a big disconnect with the Jedi and the regular people, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the Zero the Hutt arc when they're breaking Zero the Hutt out of prison. I think that's what it was, where he like crashes into a building, and it is revealed in this arc that it was their house, apartment, however you want to call it, and it killed their parents.
Yeah.
So then, like, the Jedi, I can't remember exactly who it was or if they even specified who it was, but they say, you know, don't form attachments, just like let it go, sort of deal, and did nothing to help them. So then, you know, leading into this arc, they're broke. They're trying to survive.
Yeah.
The Jedi caused this and then did nothing to help it.
Yep.
And I love seeing that side of it, and being able to see that throughout this arc is great. And that's, you know, for Ahsoka to be hiding that identity the whole time because of this, especially when it's revealed, is just, I think it's crazy. But I will say it does, I don't want to say drag on. It does drag on. It's just the fact that there's one episode within it, I think it's the 3rd episode, where in the end of the second episode, they're getting thrown in the prison cell,
Yeah.
and at the end of the episode, at the end of the third, they're getting thrown back in the prison cell. So it just didn't do anything. There's stuff within the episode that does mean a lot, but
Yeah, yeah.
you probably could have done it in one less episode.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think it was just that they were trying to do it 12 episodes, 4 for each arc, so I understood it. But I think it's severely underrated for the message within it. I don't see. I had to put it in Sergeant. Now, see, the thing is with this specific tier list with the Clone Wars arcs, I don't dislike any of them.
Oh yeah, no, like
Whereas in our clone tier list, no one likes Slick.
yeah.
So putting him in Cadet made sense.
It was so easy.
I think this tier list it's a much less of a negative connotation as you go down the list. Like being in Sergeant really isn't that bad. It's just the tiers of these arcs.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm fine with Sergeant, but to me, it is on that upper end of Sergeant.
I can agree with that one. So go ahead, throw that into the Sergeant tier. Time to get into our 7th arc, the Battle of Mancala. This one was kind of unique, I thought, because I believe this was the one where they were fighting underwater, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I really thought that was really unique. I don't know where I would want to put it though. With where we have everything.
Just off the top of my head, I'd probably say Lieutenant. Just because I feel like it's similar level to the Boba Fett arc. It kind of just depends on your preference of what you like seeing within a Clone Wars arc.
That's true.
But I think you see just a lot of cool things within this arc.
I believe we've seen shirtless Kit Fisto too. Am I correct on that?
That is true, Mark.
Ripped Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto.
Ripped Kit Fisto. That might deserve the Lieutenant tier.
Yeah, man. I think so.
I mean, I liked that. I thought it was a fun little thing. You never really see you always see the battles in the space on land. You never see the fighting under the water. Like this is a cool little unique thing, I thought. I'm cool with throwing that in the Lieutenant tier.
I will accept that.
Go ahead, throw that in the Lieutenant tier. All right, our 8th arc, the Rush Clovis arc. Now, I don't really like Rush Clovis.
All my homies hate Rush Clovis around here.
An arc about him, I was like, I mean, I don't know how big I am, but
it's good.
I believe it ended up being pretty good. Like,
it's good.
So looking at our list right now,
I hate to throw so much in Lieutenant, but
yeah, I mean,
but I think this is pushing Captain to me. The ending is wild, insane. You get the entire scene with Thorn, which is one of the best deaths of a clone in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, it's like.
I honestly would be fine with Captain. I love this one.
Out of the 3 arcs we have in Lieutenant, I would pick the Rush Clovis arc over those 3 probably.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle between Rush Clovis and Onderon. But like I said, if Onderon was one less episode, I think it's pushing into Captain tier. But
for sure,
the Rush Clovis arc, I believe, is 3 episodes. So.
I believe you're right. Yep. So I'm honestly cool with throwing the Captain.
Yeah, not much explanation on this one other than I think it's just super impactful throughout it.
Yeah, and like you said, seeing Thorn, man, I mean, Can't go out a better way,
Okay.
So I'm cool with throwing that. We'll go ahead and throw that into the captain tier. Moving on to our ninth arc, the Ryloth arc. I believe did this one start off kind of slow or no? Am I thinking of a
It
different one?
does kind of, but this is one of those. I'm fairly certain it's from season 1. This is one of those very early arcs, and I think it's one of those highlights. This is very much one of those early season highlights, which there's good episodes within the first few seasons, but it's almost no discussion that the later seasons are much better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But this is one of the highlights from the early seasons for sure.
Yeah, I really do like seeing going to Ryloth because I believe in Bad Batch they went to Ryloth and that as well. And kind of seeing like the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
Because I believe weren't they like hesitant, like they wanted to stay neutral, like they didn't want to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and that made sense, for what they were trying to do. Man,
You get to see
maybe
Waxer and Boyle.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole
Waxer and Boyle. I
interaction
forgot.
there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a classic Clone Wars moment.
I'm honestly cool with throwing on Lieutenant. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think Lieutenant's a
I
good
think it
spot.
deserves Lieutenant. It's not, like I said, early Clone Wars is it's a it's a tough one to really gauge because story-wise they're great, but just overall with everything included, they just get so much better as the seasons go on.
For sure, but I think Ryloth is definitely one of the arcs that pulls people back in from the other arcs that are lacking, I guess, in the early seasons. But I think Lieutenant's a good spot for it. Now we're getting to our final arc, Clone Protocol 66.
The Fives arc.
Yeah, the Fives arc. I mean, I think this deserves Commander. I love Fives. He's my favorite. I think he's probably my favorite clone. He was literally doing no wrong. He was just trying to warn everybody about the inhibitor chips, and he ended up dying for it, which was tragic, but that's just a part of the story. Always gotta break my heart about everything in Star Wars. But yeah, no, I think this is Commander. I don't really have to think twice about it. What about you, Logan?
I'm right there with you. I think this is one of those all-time Clone Wars arcs where it's just on another level. I don't know what they were doing when they were writing this, but it's just insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that within this arc you get this picture kind of put into your head where Tup is describing this as he's dying, where he's saying the Fives, he's talking about the mission, and Fives is like, what mission? And Tup says the one that they see in their dreams. Basically saying that they see Order 66 over and over and over again every time that they sleep, which is the most brutal thing
That's insane.
ever, I swear. Like, actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then for that to come full circle to the very end of it, when Fives dies and he says the nightmares are all over, it's just, oh my god, dude.
I mean, it just hits on a different level. Like,
dude,
it's just
it's ridiculous.
I mean, the emotions run high.
Palpatine revealing the whole plan to Fives, and the doors open up and Fives has him at gunpoint, and everyone's trying to get him to stop, and Fives is trying to say exactly what Palpatine said. Oh my god, the fact that Fox couldn't have the blaster set to stun. He was probably told to kill him, so that's why he didn't have it on stun.
Yeah, and like, why, dude? You got so much drip. Why couldn't you just stun him, man? Like, just stun him.
Oh man, but yeah, I think Commander's perfect. This is
Yeah.
it's. I'm not gonna lie. It battles with Umbara for sure.
Oh,
Like
100%. Yeah.
it's for different reasons,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's right up there with it, man.
100%. Yeah, I'm absolutely 100% good with throwing that in the commander tier. So that has been our tier list. To go over it once again, we got in the commander tier the Umbara arc and the Clone Protocol 66 or 5's arc. In the captain tier, we got the Bad Batch and Rush Clovis. In the lieutenant tier, we got Boba Fett arc from season 2, Ryloth, Onderon, and the Battle of Mancala. And in the sergeant tier, we got D Squad and a Sokkas Journey. And this time around, we don't have anything in the cadet arc because all these arcs do not deserve the cadet tier. If I'm being honest, I mean, the cadet's like the lowest of the low, and I don't really feel like any of these arcs are really the lowest of the low of Clone Wars.
To me, cadet just means you got nothing out of it. Like you just completely disliked it. You got nothing
Yes.
out of it, and I don't know if there's a single Clone Wars arc where I would put it in cadet. Like I said, it's just I don't know. I find at least some sort of entertainment, but then also actually pulls some sort of uh actual deep meaning out of most arcs. So
Hmm.
it's tough to put one in cadet.
Yeah, usually a lot of these arcs do have like a like a meaning or a message or just something along those lines to kind of
Yeah.
just grow us as a person. So I really do appreciate that out of Mr. Dave Filoni. Well, this has been Climbing the Ranks. We hope you enjoyed. Now, we'll send you back to the boys at the desk.